Back on Sportsbook, betting insight today. Follow us on Twitter at Paulie Howard at Teddy_covers. Time for a big game breakdown as always. Live odds, sportsbookreview.com. Spurs and the Thunder. Spurs at home, 9-11 the total. First meeting since the playoffs. Spurs led 2-1 and then lost the next 3 as OKC went to the Western Conference Finals. Do they have a depth issue, San Antonio? 3 losses, a double-digit favorites in the last 10 games. And you look at this graphic. Against Dallas, they led by 10 at the half. Against the Pelicans, they led by 9 at the half. Outscored in the second half. But Teddy, look at the fourth quarter.
Yeah, outscored by 8 by Dallas, outscored by 15 by New Orleans. Very clearly, they wore down late in back-to-back games against mediocre to bad teams that have depth issues of their own. You know, Popovich talking about pulling his starters with 3.5 minutes left against New Orleans on Friday. Quote, "We just ran out of gas." The problem, of course, they had back-to-back days off before playing at New Orleans. You're not supposed to run out of gas on a night you're supposed to be fresh. That's definitely a concern. But to say that San Antonio has depth issues, they do not. When you talk about a well-crafted roster from 1 to 15, I don't know if there's a better roster in the NBA than the one the Spurs bring to the table. And that's why they have been so good in so many of the roles that other teams are bad at. That's why they have been so good when they've been missing key guys from their rotation because of that depth. I don't think it's a depth issue. I just don't think they're playing good basketball right now.
Yep. Defense. How about the defense? In the post-Duncan era, 2016 points per 100 possessions, 96.6. This year, 102.3. Ginobili on the D and the collapse against Dallas. Quote, "Just mental errors, communication errors. Our defense was pretty poor. We were always late on the switches. We were not as attentive as in previous games. We were a little flat in the third quarter. Exactly the same thing had happened in New Orleans. We have to figure it out." End quote. And we've been telling you about this OKC schedule. We talked about it a long time ago.
Well, it's been ongoing forever. Worth noting, Spurs off a loss. They did suffer back-to-back loss over the weekend. 8-2 straight up, 6-4 against the spread. The New Orleans-Dallas losses, the first time they lost back-to-back since the second week of the season back in early November. So I anticipate we're going to see a focused San Antonio team. When you talk about OKC, I mean, it's been going on and on and on. This will be the 22nd consecutive court change for the Thunder. There have been 16 road games during this stretch. I mean, we saw it very clearly in Cleveland on Sunday. The team had nothing in the tank. Westbrook, 7 of 26 from the floor. OKC was minus 19 in the 36 minutes that he was on the court. You know, Billy Donovan tried to shake it off. Quote, "Russell's seen every imaginable defense. He had some good looks, both in deep and in the free throw line area. He had some threes. It was a game where maybe shots didn't go down for him, but it didn't feel like he was laboring to get shots off or he was having a difficult time getting the rim." It was one of those games. Yes, it was one of those games, Paulie, but one of those games tends to happen a lot more often when you're playing your 16th road game and 22 straight games with a court change. This is a tired ball club right now. And, of course, they've got injuries to be concerned about as well.
Yeah, more pressure on Westbrook because Canner's out after hitting the chair, and the chair won that battle. He's number 3 in the NBA in points per game among reserves. No natural replacement means Donovan has to shuffle with different rotations as well. That's something to follow as Canner's out an extended period of time. Hey guys, for the full video, go to SBRpicks.com.
Research before you bet. Be sure to check out SBR Picks for the best game predictions, breakdowns, and much, much more.